The following video contains themes of death and bereavement in relation to children and young people. Caution is advised as the content might be upsetting to some viewers. Breaking the news of a death is hard, especially when it is unexpected, or the child does not have a grasp on the concept of death yet. This video aims to help you to approach these conversations using language that helps young people to understand what has happened when somebody has died. When someone has died, it is helpful if children and young people hear the news from somebody who is close to them, such as a parent or caregiver. This will help them to feel safe and comforted, and they will be more likely to ask any questions they might have about the death. It is important to use clear, concrete language like dead and died, so that children and young people don't become confused about what has happened to their person. As an adult, your instinct might be to protect your child by avoiding these words, but children don't have the same taboos as adults, and using clear language will help with understanding and processing. Using words like lost or sleeping can cause confusion. Lost things can be found, and sleeping people wake up. Young children might not understand what death is, and the concept can be difficult for them to understand. A clear and simple explanation can be helpful. You might say something like, when somebody dies, it means that their body doesn't work anymore. They can't think, feel, or breathe anymore, and they don't have a heartbeat anymore. That means that they don't need any food or anything to drink because they can't feel anything. They aren't in any pain at all. If you need further advice on how to explain what death is, please look at our video explaining death to children or get in touch with us. Explaining how someone has died can often be a daunting task, but it is important to be honest about what has happened. If someone has died due to an illness, a simple and straightforward explanation of the illness can help them understand why the person has died. For example, Granny died of an illness called cancer. You can't catch cancer, it just develops in some people's bodies and no one knows why. Sometimes doctors can make it better, but unfortunately the medicine didn't work for Granny and her body stopped working. This is what caused her to die. Be sure to reassure the child that this does not mean they will die of it too, nor other people they care about. When death is due to a traumatic event, you might instinctually want to protect the child from knowing the cause of death. Even when it is difficult, it is important that children and young people are told the truth in an age-appropriate way, as knowing the facts can help them to process the death. Make sure when you do so that you explain the death was not their fault and nothing the child did, said or thought caused it. Making meaning is an important part of the grieving process and can help us to come to terms when we have been bereaved. To help children to try and make sense of the death and understand what has happened, you might have to repeat the story or answer the same questions lots of times. Some children might ask really difficult questions, and you might feel that they are too young to hear the answer. If they are asking the question, then this is a sign that they can cope with the information they have asked for. If your child is missing a piece of the story, they might fill in the blanks with their imagination or with parts of conversations that they have overheard. Sometimes what they imagine is worse than the reality, so providing them with the facts can help to clear up any confusion. The funeral is an important part of saying goodbye for a lot of people. When someone has died, choice is really helpful for children and young people. When someone dies, there is very little that we can control, so being offered the choice of whether or not they want to go to the funeral can be empowering for children and young people and lets them have some control over how they would like to say goodbye. It might be that your religion or the religion of the person who died doesn't allow children at funerals. If this is the case, explain to your child why they can't attend, so that they can understand what is happening. They might want to choose another way to say goodbye. Please see our video, The Funeral, or get in touch for more information about funerals. Remember, telling a child someone has died is never easy, but it is important to be open and honest with them. Explain what has happened as best as you can in simple language and acknowledge when you don't have the answers. Be prepared to repeat the story and to answer questions, some of which may be difficult for you. Not every child or young person who grieves will need bereavement support, but Richmond's Hope is here for the ones who do. Please get in touch if you would like more information or advice, or to refer a child or young person.